Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Reveal Report. I'm your host, George Iceman. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get into something very interesting. The topic for tonight is going to be the world of magic and magicians from yesterday and today. We're going to talk about magicians, all different types of magicians and magic, because it's key. I appreciate you guys being here. Please like, subscribe, and share. We're almost hitting our unbelievable goal of 40,000 subscribers. We're nearly there. We're about 2,000 off. So if you can, subscribe, share with a friend, give us a like, and spread the word. I'd love to make it before the new year to 40,000. It's been all a natural, organic opportunity that all of you have participated in. So we thank you. As we discuss the supernatural, the occult, the paranormal, and all things esoteric. So I thank you for joining us. Again, we are on Twitter as well, almost 12,000, and on Telegram, almost 10,000. Amazing. And I appreciate you guys. It is by far one of the best shows on YouTube. And I want to get into it. The world of magic, magicians. Some people you see do videos online about magic and magicians being maybe possessed by demons, and maybe they've made a deal and that's where they get their power. So I want to say from the get-go that I started off in the world of professional magic. I was young, 12, 13 years of age when I got into magic. And I apprenticed under someone by the name of Herb Morrissey, who owned a magic shop in Toronto. I got to perform for theme parks, festivals. I got to perform in hotels and corporate functions. I had an amazing time learning the art of magic because I've been fascinated, as you can see, with the world of magic. But there's a difference between stage magic and occultic magic, hidden knowledge. And I got to experience both. So on the end of stage magic, there'll be certain magicians that people have made videos on. So I want to create some clarification about these magicians and what you may think of them. And I'm going to be very truthful and honest, as I always am on this show. And where does magic come from? Some people say that, magic is the second oldest profession in the world. Possibly. And where does it come from? Well, we could trace magic back to Egypt. And biblically, one of the first miracles is when the pharaohs, the Egyptians and Moses, they put their staffs down to the floor and turned them into snakes. One of the first magic effects recorded is actually in the Bible. Snakes in Egypt. Now, Egypt has been known to have a very esoteric, magical world and many magicians. And in fact, all throughout time, in any different religion, shaman or in the African natives, there's always been some type of magician. And even biblically, when you read, especially in the book of Daniel, it's always referred to the sorcerers, the magicians, those that could foretell the future and do things. They would be called upon for their knowledge and information. So magic has been in every book, and it goes back in time. And some people ask, well, what is the first magic trick ever performed? So let's get into it. The first recorded magical act was done by a magician who performed a trick in ancient Egypt in 2700 BC. 2700 BC, before Christ. And he was credited with the first cups and balls magic trick. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The first magic trick was the cups and balls. Now, some people say in the chat, fire. Well, yes, fire was somewhat of magic, but not really magic, because it was more science, not magic. It wasn't a trick, so it's scientifical. So it's not really magic, Michael. So there you go. The first magic trick, cups and balls in Egypt. And Egypt has so much in the world of magic. It became so prominent with ancient mysticism that many people copied them. So sleight of hand. Yeah, and that's what I'm referring to. Stage magic, sleight of hand. That's what I'm talking about. We're talking about classic magic, tricks, illusions. And we're going to talk about different magicians. As the times moved and changed, magic changed with it. So I thought it was important to do a show on that. So we could talk about magic from India, yes, from Africa, from Egypt, now in North America. It's been so key. But the magic I'm referring to, again, sleight of hand, illusion, magicians from different generations that have become world famous performing these effects. And it's incredible about the history of magic. For instance, one of the greatest magicians of all time was Carter the Great, the world's weird, wonderful wizard. And this is going to be something that happened in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And it's all going to come together as I talk about it. And magic is a way of making you believe the impossible is possible. But it's trickery. And if you notice the poster, again, this will come into our discussion, you'll see people in red looking like devils. And you'll see a magical ghost, someone rising. You'll see smoke. You'll see a crystal ball. And again, this imagery of the devil was created to manipulate people to think that they were getting their secrets and wisdom from the devil. They were actually, believe it or not, emulating real sorcerers and occultic magicians. But this is all visual effect. It's all sleight of hand. I'm here to tell you that these magicians that I'm talking about are not doing magic of the occult. They are not doing magic that is demonic. Because I come from a background of almost 10 years of learning illusion and sleight of hand. But it's fascinating. And they convince you to believe that it's real. So I am talking about sleight of hand magic, stuff from Carter and Thurston. This is what I'm referring to. Here's another one. Keller, one of the greatest. Perplexing Cabinet of Mysteries. This is again based on the turn of the century in the 1900s, where spiritual mediums and spiritualism became very famous. Rich people wanted to communicate with the dead, friends and relatives, loved ones that passed on. So magicians would capitalize off this popular scenario. And what they did, ladies and gentlemen, was they did these type of seance acts where they would create these spirit cabinets and tell you they were communicating with the dead to capitalize off the world of spiritualism. It's fascinating. And the magicians have graduated over the years with different styles. So I want to show you a couple of videos of magicians so you can see the different styles of magic. Now, some of you are going to look at it and go, that's demonic. But it is not demonic. It's a trick. There is demonic magic. There's hypnosis. There's sleight of hand. So I'm going to share with you a little bit and show you some videos. So here's the first one. This happened on a very popular show, America's Got Talent. So turn it up and take a good look. Here it is. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Just some styles of magic that is out there. Now, that guy was, doing some type of Buddhist monk type of thing. It's also popular in India. And again, the technology is starting to work against me, turning me red and changing. I mean, there's nothing I could do here. This is insane. I apologize, guys, with me turning red, but it's not me, I promise you. Some people were asking me, does magic, this stuff, does it open up doorways? And the answer is no. And I don't want anyone in my chat trying to act as if they know more about this than me. Trust me, you do not. Has nothing to do with vibration. Somebody else was saying it. Swollen. That's a magic trick, what that gentleman did. It's a complete trick. They're emulating and imitating what real magicians do. You understand? When you're raising your vibration, when you're doing harmonial summoning and so forth, that's real. But what they're doing, these magicians, is they're emulating it to try and give it a type of legitimacy, because they want to show you that they're doing magic and they want you to believe in it. So the magic that I'm showing you now is all sleight of hand, is all illusion. It's all tricks. None of it is real magic. But these magicians will emulate doing things, telling stories, possibly even saying certain words. So that is not real. It's all a trick. I promise you, it's all a trick. I know how this trick is done. I know how all these tricks are done, believe it or not. So they're just emulating. And I wanted to share with it because some of you might do a hit piece on a certain magician saying that he made a deal with the devil. I will tell you the difference. I'll tell you whether it's real magic or not, because I've been in both worlds. Let me share another video with you so you could see. Now, this one is very interesting. And when some people see it, they thought, oh, it was a trance. It could be real. This is, ancient. What is this? So I'm going to show you another magical trick. Very strange and weird, but I promise you, it's a trick. Take a look. So there you go. That was a trick. Weird, strange, wacky, but incredible. The person performing that trick, his name is Kevin James. He is an inventor of magic and illusion. And I was able to meet him many years ago when I performed magic at a theme park. I was hired as a professional and I worked 6 shows a day. And he was one of the guys on the main stage who was on tour. And I got to speak to him and, learn some things. And he's a very smart inventor of magic. His name again is Kevin James. In fact, he created magic that you may have seen David Copperfield perform and other famous magicians. Currently, Kevin is on tour with a show called The Illusionists. And it's a great show. It might be coming to a town or city near you, where it's an assembly of different superstar magicians from all over the globe, bringing their very best. It's a night out to experience, and I highly recommend, if you are into being amazed and fascinated, please go and see it. Again, the magic I'm referring to from these magicians are not real. This is all stage. It's all tricks. It's all illusion. None of it is real, but it's really well done. And I lived that world for about 10 years, performing professionally as a magician. So I understand that side of it. But again, my path was interesting as I took a turn to understand about the supernatural, the paranormal. And then from there, I wanted to know about real magic and what you could do. What I can tell you is, in real magic, you're not going to make cards appear like that. You're not going to saw a woman in half. You're not going to make a woman float in the air. None of that. Real magic is not about that. It's about other things. It's about the spiritual realm is what it's about. And changing the path of your life. So would an occult magician be on stage as an illusionist? It's a very good question. There possibly might be someone who is a professional magician who also studies the occult. That's a possibility. However, how will they implement the magic of the occult into stage magic? It doesn't work that way, because in the occult, you're not studying to make cards appear or make predictions and so forth. That's not the job of an occultist or occultic magic. The most popular magician or occultist would be one Aleister Crowley. And I talk about him on the show all the time because he's so prominent. That's him right there. Aleister Crowley. He was an occultist, a sorcerer, not a stage magician. He never did fake tricks, but in fact, tried to understand the secrets of the universe, like all occultists. You want to know the secrets to the universe. But in today's day and age, what you see on stage is not real. It is strictly entertainment. And one of the greatest magicians of our generation would be one David Copperfield. And you may have heard of him. You may have seen him. This is David Copperfield here. I believe he's currently in Las Vegas. David Copperfield, of course, is an American magician, described by Forbes as the most commercially successful magician in history. That's what they say. He's won 38 Emmy Awards, and he is the, highest paid performer in magic that I can recall. And one of the greatest magical tricks he's ever performed is walking through the Great Wall of China. Now, many occultists talk about, penetrating through walls and their spirit. There's a type of truth to it, but not like this. So sit back. I'm going to play this video of David Copperfield walking through the wall of China. Did he really walk through the wall? Or was it a trick? Take a look. Walking through the Great Wall of China, David Copperfield. This is the perfect example of showman, entertainer. The music, the timing, the costumes, the presentation, the acting, everything was perfectly done to convince the public that it was real. But it's not real. That was an elaborate stage illusion. I know how it's done. I'm not going to share it with you because that would go against everything I learned doing magic for 10 years. I still today, do card tricks and still fascinated with magic. I spent a lot of my life doing it and performing, and then I got into the occultic side to learn what real magic is and what you could do. So if you're just tuning in and you're watching, just a reminder, what I'm discussing are stage magicians. They are not real magicians of the occult. They are performers that do professional magic. They use apparatuses, they use sleight of hand, they use illusion. None of it is real. So if you think it's wrong to look at this, it's not. It's all just a form of entertainment. So I highly recommend, if you get a chance, to enjoy yourself, to not think about what's going on in the world today and take in a great performance. Do so and support these magicians because they do work hard at their craft. I mean, I would have to practice hours and hours and hours every day. Most of my teenage years, for those that are interested, I didn't spend outside playing with my friends going out. I spent it in front of a mirror. I practiced cards. I practiced dove magic with birds. I practiced illusions. So I spent a lot of time in rehearsal practicing to prepare for a 45-minute show, for a 1-hour show. And I had big, elaborate illusions as well. I was able to make a woman disappear, and I put her in a cabinet, and I put swords through her. All magic tricks. So it's important that I share that with everybody. But there's going to be a segue here that you're going to be fascinated with. And some of the magicians from the 19th century, ladies and gentlemen, like Thurston. Thurston was another one. And here again, and I'm making reference to this, ghosts and spirits, do they come back? Do they come back? And the question is, well, I'll let you wait for it. But this was an act that became famous for magicians in that era because, again, spiritualism was at its height. What is spiritualism? Well, that's when people were able to communicate with the other side. But there were a lot of charlatans, snake oil salesmen, fake mediums that would take your money and show you fake tricks and tell you that you were speaking to your loved ones. This became very popular. Harry Houdini got into us. We're going to get into it. Keller, here he is. Another one. There you see a ghost in a fabric. You'll see a box with a cane, a chalkboard. These are all magic tricks. And of course, one of the most popular magicians of all time is Harry Houdini. This is what he's known for, Harry Houdini. Interesting enough, Harry Houdini was actually known for his escapes, not so much the magic. That's what he was known for. Mostly escapes. So magic was in his earlier years when he used to work in the circus, where he actually got to work with Keller. And these are all illusions, tricks. He picked locks and so forth. Now, he was very close with his mother. And his mother passed. And when his mother passed, he was hurt. He changed. He wasn't the same. So he went out to look for mediums to try and communicate with his mother. He would do anything to try and communicate with his mother because besides his wife, that was his best friend. His mother believed in him and wanted him to succeed. So he made it a mission to try and communicate her. I'm going to play a video for you, and I want you to watch this video. This video talks a little bit about Houdini and how he got into the spiritualist movement, and then later on tried to prove that mediums were liars. Take a look at this.
Can one really communicate with the spirits? Well, it all started around 1848 when the spiritualism faith became famous with three sisters, the Fox sisters, in Hydesville, New York. They were convincing the whole world that there were spirits inside their home, and these three young ladies had the powers to communicate to these spirits. Houdini in the late 1800s and his wife Bess actually performed some seances. What's ironic is, in the later years, Houdini went on a warpath against fraudulent mediums, and he exposed them during his show. Houdini was a skeptic, but he was actually open to the possibility. Houdini made a pact with his wife that if he was ever able to come back after he's gone, look for a certain code. And for 10 years after Houdini's death on Halloween 1926, his beloved wife Bess actually had seances trying to speak to Houdini.
Houdini did not come through. My last hope is gone. I do not believe that Houdini can come back to me or to anyone. After faithfully following through the 10-year Houdini compact, using every type of medium and seance, it is now my personal and positive belief that spirit communication in any form is impossible.
Today, on Halloween, magicians throughout the world try to connect with Houdini. Unfortunately, no one has been able to do so.
So, something interesting there, and I hope you guys picked up on that. Here we go. Here's the transformation. This is how you know who's who. She said in 10 years after speaking to many mediums, there was no way for her to contact Houdini. And she does not believe that spirits could come back from the dead to communicate with the living. That was her opinion, and so was Houdini's. He was a skeptic and he wanted proof. This is evidence that they were not occultists. You see, a real occultist is able to communicate, and there I am turning red, right on key. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Real occultists make pacts and deals to change their way in the world through the supernatural realm. You communicate with spirits and demons. You ask for their help. Some talk about saints and so forth. I dabbled in hoodoo and Solomonic magic. The difference is I'm not asking them to help me with a card trick. I'm not asking them to help me float in the air. I am asking them to help me achieve certain things in my life. They're not going to teach me magic tricks, ladies and gentlemen. So what they said, if you heard her, Houdini's wife, was that she believes there was no way to communicate with the other side. Spiritualism became very popular. Here's Houdini showing you how mediums would communicate with the other side. His foot had a bell, and it would ring under the table. And the person that was trying to communicate with the dead would think that was their loved one. Here's another picture. Ectoplasm. That was something that was very popular. They thought the dead would have some kind of chemical that would come out. Ectoplasm. People would pay a fortune to sit with these mediums to see this. That's fake. Table tipping. Spirit would tip a table. You see this, ladies and gentlemen? This is all fake type of spiritualism. Here's an old poster. As you can see, a ghost coming out, helping them decapitate someone's head. Interesting. Here, Houdini actually did a special event. Houdini himself, a most remarkable expose and demonstration. Can the living talk to the dead? An expose of fakes. So Houdini even wrote a book about it, and he went on stage to show that mediums were fake. So where are we going with this? Here it is. A lot of these mediums were charlatans, snake oil salesmen that would use trickery, professional magic tricks, and illusions to pretend they were speaking to the dead. Magicians do magic tricks and pretend that they're speaking to the dead. Occultists don't go on stage and do magic tricks. It's why it's called occultism. It's secret knowledge. It's done behind closed doors. It's done with great mysticism. It's done with great ritual, with grimoires. And it has nothing to do with making people float in the air or making the Statue of Liberty disappear, walking through the Great Wall of China, or picking your card. Even those street magicians you see with everyday objects, all trickery. None of it is real. So rest assured, be comfortable that if you see a street magician, it's okay. You could watch it. If you see a magician on TV or a show comes, it's okay. You can watch it. It's not real. It's all trickery. And that's okay. They tell you it's trickery. Houdini said to the world, it's all trickery. Now, some people thought he was a real magician, and he would say to them, no, I can't do real magic. It's impossible. They were not occultists, ladies and gentlemen. They were stage performers, illusionists, sleight of hand artists, showmen and women, magicians. So I hope you can all rest assured that if you see a street performer doing magic tricks or an illusionist, know that none of it is real. It's rehearsed, it's practiced, it's a great lost art, it's extreme dedication and commitment. I do support those magicians because they're not doing any harm to anyone. They wish no harm to anyone. They just want to amaze, and it makes them feel good to amaze you and make you smile, to forget what's going on in the real world for a time being, to suspend disbelief and just enjoy a little bit of mystery. Occultism is completely different. That's when you're communicating with ancient souls, ancient demonic beings, to manifest real desires in your life. And that you will not pay to see on stage. Again, that's why it's called occultism. Hidden knowledge. That's what the occult is, behind closed doors. So I hope that clarifies a lot for you guys today. The world of magic, magicians. That's some of you that possibly think it's real. It's not. And you're not putting yourself in any harm's way whatsoever by watching them perform, by seeing street performers. Now, if you don't like it, that's a different thing. But I encourage everyone to go out and watch a show, to applaud and appreciate the hard work, effort, and commitment that's put in to what they do. Now, the paranormal, the supernatural, has nothing to do with magic that you see on stage. That's people communicating with the other side, trying to get proof of life after death. But are they communicating with spiritual energy or demons? That's the question. It's also the topic of another show. And on the next show, I'm going to talk about something very interesting. I'm going to shed a little light and a little history, again, about magic. I'm going to talk about the magic wand, where it comes from, who used it, and how it's in today's world and society. There I go again, turning red, ladies and gentlemen. They get me always at that time. Mysticism, occult magic. Very interesting. So there you have it. Chris Angel, David Copperfield, David Blaine. None of them are occultists. Just very good magicians. Support them, watch them, and enjoy. I'll take a few questions. Hi, George. What about the magic circle, though? I knew a wonderful magician at a child's party as a child, and he was a member of Paul Daniels. Yes, it's a wonderful group in London, England, the Magic Circle. And they're basically like a group where they talk about magic, they teach magic, they share magic with each other. It's a place that you could go see magic. It's just a brotherhood or sisterhood of magicians that could go and learn ancient tricks to help mystify today's generation. Nothing evil, nothing bad. That's it. Hollywood, however, that's a different story. Nicely done, Iceman. Yes, thank you so much, Rogue. Druids used sticks for, yes, and we're going to get into that next week. We're going to talk about magic wands, who used them, why they were using. Thank you for answering. I thought it was, nope, not, it was very good. Hypnotism. Is hypnotism okay to watch? It's interesting because some people fall for hypnotism. Is it a trick? The power of suggestion is used, but some people do fall under a trance. That's something I personally stay away from. What about the Magic Castle? Great question, Melissa. The Magic Castle is an excellent location to find out about the history of magic. They have old artifacts. They keep it alive, the ancestral classic magic. They pick and choose some of the best performers in the world. So, nothing to do with the occult, but it is strictly trickery and stage performance. So if you get a chance to go to the Magic Castle, to suspend your disbelief, have dinner, enjoy a drink maybe, watch some magic. They have 3 different areas, I believe, a parlor, a stage show, and close-up magic. Go out and enjoy yourself. I promise you, none of it is going to affect you. There are actually pastors who use magic wands during their work. Guys, wait till next week for our show on magic wands. You guys are let's just wait till next week. George, great show as always. Thank you, Samuel. God bless. Totally cool of you to support stage magic and set people at ease. Yes, Amy, it's my job to set everyone at ease so that you are aware that the magic that you see on the street, that you see on stage, in the parlor, these performers, none of it is real. It's all well choreographed. It's all well rehearsed. It's all fake. It's all trickery. It's ancient. It goes back. There's books of it. And it's unbelievable. But again, fake. But it's there for entertainment. And none of those magicians are going to tell you it's real. They're all going to tell you it's a trick. So support them. Go out and appreciate what they do. There's another aspect of magic, real magic. That's the occult. That's what I talk about. But I wanted to show you the differences, that these gentlemen are only doing magic on stage to mystify and help you forget what's going on in your life. All they have is 30 minutes, 45 minutes to entertain you. That's all they want to do. So showing them some appreciation is always good, and I do support them. It's the other magic I don't support, occultism. I hope that clarifies that for you. I hope you join us next week for an amazing show on the magic wand. Ladies and gentlemen, after this, I'll be going to Patreon to do a Q&A and have an open discussion. So if you'd like to join in and have an open discussion, an open table about any topic you want, feel free to join us on Patreon. The link is in the description. And if you appreciate this and all shows I do every Friday on YouTube, feel free to send any type of tip or donation on PayPal. The link is also in the description. I want to thank you all for watching. Remember to get outside, get some fresh air, get some vitamin D, but most importantly, give grace, glory, and praise to our Maker, God Almighty. Thank you for watching, everyone, and good night.